Hello, and welcome to my thoughts while standing in the queue. The other day, I was passing a church and I had to walk around a long line of people waiting to congratulate the bride and groom. And I started thinking about marriage and my disastrous experience with it. And I remembered that Tracy Emin, that very, very famous artist with the sloppy bed, has married a rock. She says he's monumental, he's dignified, he never lets her down. She didn't say anything about the sex, but I'm guessing that it was really marvelous. I like to think how much happier more of us would be if indeed we married a rock instead of a human being. And this thing about a happy marriage is just as difficult for people who are homosexual as heterosexual. The couple I'm thinking of is my marvelous friends Jim and Leo. I thought they were the perfect couple. And to me, it seemed that they were really a lot happier than many of the heterosexual couples that I met. However, I discovered that they faced the same problems that I faced when I had the misfortune of marrying a New Yorker with an inflated sense of privilege. I can still remember about 3 months after our marriage, when for me the honeymoon was still not over. I had taken a weekend to go to New York shopping with my mother. Never a good experience. And when I came home, I ran upstairs to give my brand new husband a cuddle because I was so thrilled to see him and I missed him so much. And when I opened up the door to the living room, there he was with platters of rotten, dried food all around him on the living room floor, staring at the TV, dressed in a filthy shirt, stained with God knows what, and half asleep. And when I came and gave him my hug, and I said, "Darling, did you miss me?" And he said, "No." Well, I have to tell you that changed the marriage. He was no longer monumental to me. He had no dignity. He certainly had let me down, and I'll tell you, the sex was never the same. The same thing happened when I was walking my dogs in Pacifica, California, several years later, and I passed Jim and Leo's house. As we trotted by the house and I admired their manicured garden, which Jim always kept up, Jim burst out of the house in an apron, his eyes filled with tears, and he said to me, "It's over. I can't do this anymore." And he threw his arms around me and buried his head in my shoulder and cried sorrowful, sad tears. "What happened?" I said. He said, "It's Leo. Ever since we got married, things have changed. He used to be smart and well-dressed and ready for all kinds of fun. Now he dresses like a slob. He never comes home for dinner. I can't tell you how many times I've thrown out a delightful coq au vin or beautiful, beautiful beef stew with wine gravy. Just thrown it out because he never showed up. I don't even want to tell you what a slob he is and what he's done with the toilet seat. After that, he was no longer monumental to me. He had no dignity, and he certainly has been letting me down all the time. I don't want to even discuss what's happened with our sex." And I was thinking to myself, how much better off we would all be if we had married a rock. I mean, just think of it. You could keep him on the ceiling. I'm sure it's a him, for me anyway. Keep him on the ceiling, polish him up, and when you were in the mood for a romantic dinner, you set him down at the table, cook his favorite meal, which is probably stewed grass or dandelion soup, and light the candles, put on the stereo, and discuss your day with him, the beauty being that he would never interrupt and he would never complain. What a lovely, lovely marriage that would be, and I assure you, the sex would be a lot better than anything Jim and I experienced. And I want to thank you very much for joining me in my thoughts while standing in the queue.